Hello, and welcome to the video walkthrough of the Budgeteer budgeting app. This is a web app that was created by me, Joe Christensen. It is a web app that was created using a React front end and a Ruby on Rails backend API. I have used Material UI for the styling. I use Material UI 5, the new one, that was just updated. And yeah, so let's get into it. When you first load into Budgeteer, you are met with this landing page. If I reload it here, you have a nice little animation that shows up. And as you scroll down, you will come into contact with some of the features of the budgeting app. So this is a image of a possible dashboard for your app. As you scroll down, you can see how you are able to organize your accounts with custom categories. You are able to track your spending with transactions and money transfers. And you are able to distribute your paycheck automatically with custom category allocation. And then down at the bottom here just has the logo and my GitHub down here. So what Budgeteer is a money budgeting and tracking app. It allows users to simulate their current balance, categorize that balance, um, update their paycheck information, and log possible transactions. So by default, you have to log in here by clicking the login button, and it takes you to our login page. If you do not have an account, then you go here and you sign up for an account, which takes you to the sign up page. The login and sign up flow are created using the bcrypt Rails gem. So they are completely secure, following best practices. And that is also created using cookies. So the browser will save the user's cookies, and when they visit the page, if they were logged in previously, they will automatically be logged in again. So let's log in as Joe. Let's have my email in here. And let's put in a password, 1234, and a confirmation password, 1234. All of these inputs must be added, otherwise you will have some custom errors pop up for each one, like so. But when they're all added, you will sign up and be redirected to your login page. And will be prompted to confirm your email and log in. So Budgeteer actually uses Action Mailer, which is a Rails mailing framework that allows for email confirmation. So when you create a brand new account, you will not be able to log in. Let's log in as Joe1234, and it will give you an error saying you have to confirm your email. So if we go back here, you can see we just got an email from budgeteersavings@gmail.com about registration confirmation. And it says, "Hi, Joe. Thank you for registering. To confirm registration, click the email below, and it takes me to the local host for my confirm email." Now, by default, this will actually take me to the hosted Budgeteer Finance app login, which is hosted on Heroku app. I currently have it down, so it would take me to this login page here to re-log in again. So let me just go back to the login page, and now that I've clicked that link and confirmed my email, I can log in properly. So I've logged in. This is my dashboard. You can see Joe right here up in the corner for it. If I click Joe, it takes me, or it opens up a little menu of a bunch of different items. By default, when you create an account, you are given two categories, a savings category and a spending category. Your balance is set to 0 by default, your paycheck amount is set to $2,000, and your next payment is set to 16 days. You can create new categories by clicking this handy button here that opens up a pretty nice prompt. Let's create the category entertainment, and let's set the percentage to 30%. Something to note is since savings was 10%, I believe, and spending was 20%, the only unallocated percentage is 70%. It tells you right down here, and you cannot go above 70%. So if I try to type 80 here, it won't let me type anything more, but I can type 70. I can't type 71. But let's set this to 30% for now. It takes you directly to your entertainment page. As you can see up at the top as well, I have custom dynamic routing set up using React Router DOM. So that's just something to note. So at your entertainment page, you can see list of all of your current transactions. Of course, there's none because you just created this. It also gives you an option to edit your percentage. It says an unallocated percentage of 70% because it's not counting the current percentage of this right here. And you can also delete your category if you would so like. You can click here and click dashboard to go back to your dashboard here. And we can see that entertainment shows up as well. Now, for the dashboard, a few more useful things to note is this recent transactions here will actually show your 5 most recent transactions. Currently, it's empty because you just created this account and there are no transactions, but we will revisit this once we create a few. This also shows your total balance, which shows your unallocated balance and the balance of each of your categories added together. It gives you your payment information. By default, you are set up on a bi-weekly payment period. So on the 1st and 15th of every day or every month. And by default, you have a paycheck amount of $2,000. Now, one final thing to note is you can drag and drop and reorder your categories however you see fit. If you click here, you can drag them around. And if I put it at the top here, it sticks at the top, and this is also persisting in the database. So when the user logs back into their account here, this drag and drop positioning will be exactly how they left it last. You can also quick go to a category by clicking the category here, and it takes you to it. Or you can click this categories drop down here, and it has a list of all of your categories. Now, to create a transaction, you can do it a few different ways. One, by being in a category, you can click this new transaction page or button, and this useful little modal will pop up. You can add a transaction name, let's say birthday money. You can have a transaction amount. This will only allow you to have 2 decimal places and only accepts numbers as input. So you can't type any letters in here. So you can never add bad data. But let's say $800. Got some rich grandma. Grandma gave me some birthday money. And you can set this to be a positive or a negative transaction. So since you were given birthday money, it's going to be a positive transaction. You can also set secondary categories. Now, since we are in our spending category and we created a new transaction here, the primary category is set to spending by default. There's no way to change that here. Now, what a primary category is this amount in this transaction will only affect the primary category's balance. But if you have secondary categories set up, then the transaction will also log under those categories. So this is useful if you have something like groceries that you are buying or something like that, and you want it to go under your remove money from your groceries account, but or from your spending account, but you also want it to be logged under, say, your entertainment or something because you are buying other stuff too. If you have it set as a primary category spending and a secondary category entertainment, then it will show up under both, but it will only affect the spending category's balance. Now you can add multiple tags here. You can remove them like so. Let's just put savings here as well for this birthday money. Now, when you click create, you can see a new transaction appeared here. Birthday money, grandma gave me some birthday money, the amount and the date it was added, and a delete functionality for it if you would like to delete the transaction. You can also see that your spending budget category amount increased to $800. Now, if we go back to our dashboard, you can see our total balance is now $800. Our spending amount is $800 and the other ones are zero. Now let's add a few more transactions. Well, actually first let's check our savings account, because remember we set our spending account to be the primary transaction, but or primary category, but our savings account was a secondary category. And as you can see here, birthday money showed up under the transactions, but it obviously did not affect the savings transaction amount. Now, you can also create a new transaction using this little thing here, new transaction. And since this one isn't tied to a primary category, you have to set the primary category. So let's do more cash, just as an example. And you were given $300 to spend. So let's just do pocket change, why not? Some cash I found. Primary category is going to be your spending category because you want to add it there, but let's add it to savings and entertainment as well. Something to note, spending category was set by default here, and so it doesn't appear as a secondary category because you can't have it be both a primary and secondary category. If we change the primary category, say savings, it removes savings from the secondary category if it was selected already and from the drop-down, and spending appears. So you can select spending and that appears there, change that back, change it to entertainment, it removes it from there, adds these, so on and so forth. So it protects from bad data there. Let's add this to all of those. Another useful thing to note is you must add an amount, you must add a transaction name, and you must add a description and primary category. Primary category is set to your top category by default, so you don't have to worry about that. But all of these are empty. If you leave them empty and click create, then you will get custom errors about it not being blank. So some cash I found. And that this same error handling can be found in every single form input on this web app. So if you click create, you can see spending just got even more money and it's now at $1,100. Savings got nothing and entertainment got nothing, but it was still logged as a transaction for both of those. So if we go to entertainment here, you can see that pocket change showed up. Now, if we go back to our dashboard, you can see that pocket change and birthday money show up as recent transactions. If the name was too long and it got cut off, you can highlight over it and it shows up. That also works for your categories and for your user information up here. Now, we just added, well, here, you can also go down to the bottom here and click this all transactions page. And this will take you to a new page that shows you every single transaction possible. Obviously, it won't show duplicates, but these are all of the transactions logged for this current user. You can add a new transaction here, and it would be just like adding it through this new transaction dropdown. You have to set a primary, you have to set a secondary, you have to add all this information. You'll get errors if you don't. Now let's go to our dashboard and take a look at something else real quick. As you can see, we just added a lot of money to our spending account. But say we wanted to move some of that from spending to savings to save it for later. You can do that very easily by clicking this money transfer, and it will pop up a little nice form for you to transfer money from accounts. So let's say we'd want to transfer $500 from spending to savings. Now you can swap these inputs real quick like this if you as a quality of life feature. And something to note as well is you can transfer to and from your unallocated balance, which is that thing right there. And I'll go over that in a few minutes. But for right now, we want to transfer from spending to savings. When we create this, you can see the money was transferred. No change to your total balance because that's still your total balance. If we go to savings, a new transaction popped up, which is a money transfer from spending plus $500. And if we go to our spending account, you can see a new transaction popped up, a money transfer to savings minus $500. So custom transactions pop up there. Another thing to note about these is money transfers do not pop up as recent transactions because they technically aren't transactions. They're money transfers. They are just logged in transactions as well. If you wanted to change these percentages for each category, and again, these percentages are percentages of your paycheck. So when you are given a new paycheck on your paycheck day, first, it will look and distribute that paycheck among your spending, savings, and entertainment. So 30% of your paycheck will go to entertainment balance, 20% to savings, 10% to spending, and the rest will go into your unallocated balance. And that again is why you can money transfer to and from your unallocated balance is you can transfer that money as you wish to your other categories. Now, that's a lot of percentages to change. You can change them all by clicking here, but that is a hassle. So what I have set up is a nice little big form right here called allocate categories. And it creates a interactive pie chart of all of your categories and their allocation. So you can see unallocated percentage is 40%. That's it down there. You have spending percentage at 10%, savings at 20%, and entertainment at 30%. This chart is using Apex Charts, which is a JavaScript graphing library. So if we want to change this around, we can remove this. It updates real time the unallocated percentage and the percentage down here, unallocated, and you can enter whatever you want. So let's do 40 instead. And it changed this around. So now savings has 40%. One thing to note is it protects against bad data. So if unallocated percentage is 60, I can't type 70. I can't type anything above that unallocated percentage there. So let's do 40 like we had before, and let's update it. And now you can see savings has 40%, spending has 10%, and entertainment has 30%, just like we had it before. Now, one other thing to note is your settings page. User details is currently blank. That would be a feature I could add in the future. And account details is also blank, which would be a future addition. And what those would probably be is allowing a user to customize their profile further or update their account details, which would be email, username, password, so on and so forth. But what we do have here is your payment details. And this is where you can change your pay date from bi-weekly, 1st and 15th of each month, to monthly, and vice versa. And you can also change so let's do monthly, and you can also change your paycheck amount to $6,000 or whatever you want. And again, this is a protected input. So when you click save, we'll tell you it's successfully updated if it was, and we can go to our dashboard and see next paycheck or payment is still 16 days and paycheck amount is $6,000. Now, final things to note would be you can click here to get taken to the landing page again and navigate through all of this as you want. And it is all, and your user login is saved in your cookies in your browser. So if we were to reload the page, you would still be logged in as Joe. You can still go to your dashboard and all of that. You're not logged out until you click this logout button or remove your browser's cookies. Another thing to note is this web app is incredibly mobile friendly. If we were to click this here, and this is the dimensions of an iPhone 6, 7, 8 Plus, you can see that stuff cuts off, but you can highlight over and it gives you a useful tooltip of them all. You can still create new categories with the form that is user-friendly. You can drag and drop categories around still. You can click on categories to get navigated to this page. In this smaller view, the description of each transaction does not appear because it takes up a large amount of space. So as you expand out, the description will appear, which I can show in a second here. If we guess I can show here, the description appears, but as we make this smaller, the description is going to disappear like that. So let's go back to this mobile. You can also see that, oh my goodness, there we go. You can also see that the app bar has shrunk to fit nicely, and this still works the same. Dashboard, they're all on top of each other. And if we went to new transaction, that still fits. It's a little squished, but it all fits nicely still. And if we went to allocate categories, it's a smaller thing and you have to scroll if you have a lot of categories on the side here, but it does still all show up for everything. So yes, all transactions page, still there. Categories, you can click here. Money transfer still works. And if we click here, this still looks fairly nice, although a bit smaller. Log in and log out are now on top of each other like that as well. So this was a short little overview of the Budgeteer Finance web application. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.